Right now, an Oregon teenager wants to change the district's 8th grade curriculum and do away with a yearly assignment.
And how a small village in Rock County is coming together to put an end to a growing food desert with their own community grocery store.
Plus, dozens of people are still out of their apartments after an explosion and electrical fire at a downtown high-rise.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. A 15-year-old student in Oregon is asking the school district to get rid of an assignment that requires middle schoolers to count their calories.
Evelyn Becker started a petition online, which now has about 500 signatures. Jamie Perez spoke with her today about the assignment and her petition. Jamie?
The assignment was for 8th grade students to track their calories for a week through the MyFitnessPal app. Now, even though Evelyn Becker is now in high school and no longer graded on the assignment, she's hoping she can make a change for other students who may have to go through the same thing that she did.
10 a.m. on a Saturday, in my pajamas, in my bedroom, I wrote up a petition, published it on change.org, and now people are listening to it and talking about it.
Evelyn Becker, who is now in high school, said she started this online petition after hearing that a troubling assignment she had in 8th grade was still part of the curriculum. She recounts her own experience as dreadful.
That week was full of a lot of questioning, and it just turned into this whole obsession.
An obsession with counting calories and constantly thinking about food.
My entire week is now an assignment, and all I have to do is eat this amount of food and that amount of food.
She said the assignment opened the door to disordered eating habits she has now.
It's taken a lot for me to process that the numbers don't matter, because the numbers were really all I was getting in response.
She said she doesn't blame the teacher nor the district for the assignment, but simply wants to start a conversation of how schools can change the way health curriculums are taught.
Once you're in that spot where you already don't really like your body because you're 13 years old and it's ever changing, the numbers become some sort of way to gauge your worth.
She also mentioned that the assignment isn't inclusive for students who may not have access to a phone or those who don't have the financial means to adopt a healthier lifestyle. But she's hoping she can spark some real change in the future to make sure all students feel secure in themselves.
Super incredible that what was just an angry me in my bedroom writing things turned into a genuine change. And I don't think that would have been possible if people hadn't signed it and if the community hadn't supported it and decided that this was an issue worth fighting for.
The Oregon School District Superintendent did respond in a statement saying, quote, "As we prepare for the 2020 to 21 school year, we will look at the entire curriculum to make sure that it's all aligned and still moving in the direction that we would like it to move. We do not want a single student to feel uncomfortable in a class that they're taking."
The Indiana man arrested in connection with a 1994 murder investigation here in Madison has pleaded not guilty today. 52-year-old Willie Coleman was in court today for his preliminary hearing. He has been accused of murdering 40-year-old Lula Cunningham on November 4th, 1994. On that date, police were sent to Freeport Road on Madison's west side and found Cunningham with serious injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. Officials said she was strangled and run over by a car. Coleman was arrested after police say a DNA match linked him to the crime. A 57-year-old Madison man accused of fatally shooting his sister at her home on Christmas Eve has been ordered by court to undergo a mental competency evaluation. Attorneys for Joseph Green requested the examination before a preliminary hearing, which will determine if enough evidence exists for a trial. Green faces a first-degree intentional homicide charge for the death of his sister, 63-year-old Sheila Green. Police say he shot his sister multiple times again at her home on South Midvale Boulevard.
Madison firefighters are crediting automatic sprinklers and the swift action of their crew for saving a downtown high-rise from significant damage. An explosion and subsequent fire on New Year's Eve has knocked out power for most of the Ovation apartment complex on Johnson Street. Crews were able to quickly identify some electrical equipment on the ceiling of a parking garage as the source of the fire. The cause of the initial explosion, though, is still under investigation. The company that owns the Ovation says a custom part to fix the electrical issue should be in over the next couple of days, and the dozens of people out of their apartments will likely be back by Monday. The owners of an SUV say they are confident their car will be out of the water within the next couple days after it fell through the ice on a lake in Weston yesterday. That's just south of Wausau. No one was hurt. The DNR says it's the owner's responsibility, though, to clean up the mess. That could cost anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. A reminder for those people fishing on the ice, I suppose. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti to see how this warmer weather is going to stick around. Gary?
Well, with temperatures in the 40s again today, I'm sure we melted some of that ice, or at least made it a little softer. But colder weather is on its way in. You can see on Doppler track, nothing really going on. Skies are turning cloudy, though, as the cold front comes through. And high temperatures today that were in the lower to middle 40s. Janesville topped out at 48 degrees, as did Boscobel, have dropped now into the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. And we'll see those temperatures continue to fall as winds now have shifted to a more westerly direction from the southerly winds that we had earlier today. But tomorrow morning, with cloudy skies, will be down into the upper 20s. It'll be a cloudy and colder day tomorrow. High temperature of 34, still above the average high of 27. Some light snows on the way for tomorrow night. I'll tell you how much we can expect in a few minutes.
A Shawano County board member is accused of choking one of his members at his farm because the worker and the colleague overslept and missed the start of their shift. The Sheriff's Department says Peter Schmidt has been charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct and felony strangulation and suffocation. The workers say Schmidt came into their living quarters in late November, started yelling at them, and later choked one of the workers. As 2019 came to a close, Brown County reached a major milestone. It went an entire year without a drunk driving related death countywide. OWI arrests were also down 26% for the year. The Tavern League is crediting its partnership with safe ride programs. Last year, they say there were more than 4,000 safe rides taken.
A community in rural Rock County is trying to prevent becoming a food desert in a pretty unique way. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter spent his day in Orfordville and is back at our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with more on the plans. Adam?
Well, Orfordville has its fair share of farmers. It was without a grocery store until members of the community decided to take matters into their own hands. Now, a few months ago, they turned a former full-service gas station into a complete full-service grocery store, complete with a drive-through. Its owner works to stock the shelves with the products of more than a dozen local farmers who say for them, it's an opportunity to reach a customer in a way they're not able to anymore otherwise.
40 years ago, my husband's father could sell to the livestock auction and to the commodity market on a medium-sized farm and make it work, and now that just doesn't work. You either have to get huge or get small and sell directly to customers.
Owner Diana Grenewald says she is hopeful to see the store grow, but adds she's also hopeful one day the concept could spread to other cities across the United States who are in a similar position to Orfordville. And she says, well, the concept of a food desert is not new. The idea of their community grocery store relatively is.
Fascinating idea. Adam Duxter reporting for us tonight. Thank you, Adam.
In the first day of legal recreational marijuana sales in Illinois, customers spent more than $3 million. That is according to the Chicago Tribune. More than 77,000 customers bought marijuana from a total of 37 dispensaries. Wisconsin officials are reminding residents marijuana is still illegal in the Badger State.
A conservative law firm is asking a judge to find the Wisconsin Elections Commission in contempt unless it immediately clears more than 200,000 voters from the rolls. They're also wanting to fine the commission members $12,000 a day. Last month, a judge ordered to purge voters who may have moved and didn't respond within 30 days to a notification from the Elections Commission. The bipartisan commission has deadlocked twice on attempts to immediately remove voters while an appeal to the court order is pending. After its main fundraising group parted ways with the Henry Vilas Zoo, that facility is launching a new Conservation Club membership program. The zoo is now run by the county, and according to a release, the membership program will help keep admission to the zoo free, improve animal care and exhibits, and raise awareness about poaching and habitat loss issues. The base cost is $36 a year. That does include gift shop discounts and invites to members-only events. Higher cost memberships will get you behind-the-scene tours and VIP access to exclusive benefits. Still ahead tonight, there is some more snow in the forecast. We'll tell you when it will start falling and how much to expect.
But first, a small cottage on Lake Michigan falls victim to Mother Nature as the wind and waves of Lake Michigan continue to eat up the shoreline. And there's more local news ahead. Tonight at 10, we're talking with local businesses now that the holiday shopping has passed about how they plan to handle the slow season. That's tonight at 10.
For reliable weather day in and day out, watch First Alert Weather.
More than 5,000 people in Wisconsin reported being sexually assaulted in 2018, according to law enforcement across the state.
As victims look for justice in the current system, many run into roadblocks that prevent them from ever seeing the perpetrator being held responsible. Police departments and sheriff's offices often have to take on dozens of cases at a time, and even with upgrades to technology and DNA testing, there are limitations. Advocates say there is something we can do to help, and that starts with a conversation.
I think we really need to be talking about trauma. We need to talk about the impacts of trauma on memory, on recollection. We need to talk about, why it is that we may not want to believe a victim.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, Amy Reed shares the story of one victim who is going through the system right now. She is diving into the data behind the thousands of sexual assaults in Wisconsin to find out what's going right and what we still need to work on. Again, that's tonight at 10.
A Michigan home is a total loss after crashing off the top of a bluff on New Year's Eve. Aggressive erosion along Lake Michigan caused the collapse. The family says their beloved cottage was in the family for generations, dating back to the 1930s. The state says there is nothing they can do to help, so the burden falls on the homeowner. The organizers of an annual holiday fundraiser in West Allis say this year's event was a huge success. Candy Cane Lane started in 1985, and this year they raised more than $113,000. The money goes to the MAC Fund to help fight childhood cancer. Since it began, the event has raised just under $3 million.
Well, coming up in sports, we will wrap up what was a disappointing end to an eventful week in Southern California for the Rose Bowl game.
But first, today's mild weather will turn colder tomorrow with some light snow possible tomorrow night. Gary Canalti has his full forecast coming up next.
For an accurate forecast you can trust, watch First Alert Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and it was a gorgeous day.
Sure was. Getting a little sunshine was enough to push temperatures up into the mid-40s today. A couple of places got close to 50. Now,
wow,
cold front came through late this afternoon, and it won't be quite as mild for tomorrow, but still, temperatures are going to stay above normal for the foreseeable future. The northern part of the Midwest still has a fair amount of snow. Some of that is melted, of course, with the mild weather that we've had between Christmas and New Year's. And here in southern Wisconsin, a little bit of patchy snow remains on the ground in a few spots, but that will be gone when this map updates tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. But anytime you have winds out of the west and northwest off of the snow cover, that will cool you down, and that's what we have coming in for tomorrow. Today's winds out of the south, of course, no snow cover to the south, and that really allowed temperatures to warm up. So take a look at future track. The next weather system coming in from the northwest really doesn't have a lot of moisture associated with it, but it will be enough to bring some light snow, at least into parts of southern Wisconsin, into Saturday morning. The very latest computer model forecast actually keeps it a little farther to the south and west, so we might have to update this graphic and even push it farther to the south and west. The area where you see the falling snow, they should get at least some snow. Areas north and east of Madison certainly will see less than an inch. If we see an inch of snow, it'll be from Madison westward, maybe some 2-inch amounts closer to the Mississippi River, with any heavier amounts back in parts of west central Minnesota. But much of the rest of the Midwest will stay pretty quiet. So 3 things you need to know in the forecast: cloudy and colder weather for tonight and tomorrow. Low temperatures, upper 20s. High temperatures tomorrow back in the mid 30s. Some light snow, maybe up to an inch tomorrow night. But again, if the latest computer model forecasts are correct, it might be even less than that. And then milder weather returns by Sunday with high temperatures back into the upper 30s. In fact, if you take take a look at high temperatures over the next 10 days. Will be slightly above normal for the next few days, drop back to around normal for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, jump back up to around 40 by Thursday of next week, and then stay in the lower 30s. And the average high temperature should be in the mid to upper 20s. The live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Skies are starting to cloud up. High today, 45 degrees in Madison. Compare that to the average high of 27. Low temperature 37. That was also well above the average low of 12. But right now we're at 39 degrees, so we'll probably go below that 37 before midnight. Skies are starting to turn mostly cloudy. The air is calm, so there's no wind chill to really speak of, and dew point temperatures are going to drop as the air starts to dry out a little bit. So I'm not looking for any fog for tonight. Current temperatures still are in the 40s in Milwaukee, down into much of northern Illinois, and then they start dropping into the lower 30s to our northwest over much of Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin. There's also some cloud cover coming in as well. Big storm system in the southeastern part of the country, bringing heavy rain and thunderstorms. Much of this area under flood watches as another in a series of storm systems stays well to our south, but we're just on the northern fringes of it. Right now, our upper level winds still from the west and southwest. So as this cold front comes through, we see a gradual wind shift to a westerly direction, but the temperature is not terribly cold behind it. They go from the 40s back into the 30s, and that's what we'll be looking for tomorrow. So our forecast for tonight calls for skies to become mostly cloudy, be a little colder, low temperature dropping to 28 degrees by morning. For tomorrow, another mostly cloudy day, but high temperatures will be in the middle 30s as winds become out of the west to northwest. As we look at future track, plenty of clouds for tonight, low temperatures dropping to the upper 20s by morning, maybe a few breaks in the clouds at that point, but mostly cloudy skies for tomorrow, highs in the mid 30s. Tomorrow night, here comes that snow, but again, it looks like the latest computer model forecast shifting it even farther to the south and west, and then on Saturday, we're back to partly sunny skies, high temperatures in the lower 30s. As we look at the 7 to 10 day, here's the snowfall forecast again. We might have to revise that and push it farther to the south and east. Otherwise, look for temperatures above normal into the weekend, a little bit of a drop in temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday, and then high temperatures back to around 40 by Thursday and 30s toward the end of next week.
Thank you, Gary. After the break, a special edition of News 3 Now Sports. We head back to California one more time and ask, what happened? That's next at 6.
News 3.
Welcome to a special edition of News 3 Now Sports. Of course, Melissa Kim, Kevin Lewis, Eric Franke, they're all traveling back today from the Rose Bowl. So unfortunately, you're stuck with me here. Now, suffice it to say, fans are a little more than bummed after Wisconsin lost by just 1 point to the Oregon Ducks. Sorry to remind you. Well, Melissa Kim has been with the team all week in Southern California and has their reaction after a tough end to the season.
You guys put it out there, and yep, everyone knows football. We did some things that make it harder to win, and we didn't overcome that. But appreciate this team a ton, and yet would have liked to have finished it obviously differently. We didn't.
And we just weren't as clean as we should have been. You know, they definitely capitalized on it. You know, hats off to them. There's a good team over there. You know, whenever you're playing a good team and you shoot yourself in the foot too many times, you know, it definitely makes it harder and harder to win. But, you know, at the end of the day, still needed to find a way to overcome that.
Now, this loss obviously tough for the outgoing seniors like Chris Orr, but also for Jonathan Taylor, who most likely has played in his last game in a Badgers uniform. JT finishing with 94 yards rushing and 43 yards receiving, but his impact on this program is way bigger than those numbers. I asked him what these last 3 years representing the Badgers has been like. He says he wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's been amazing. You know, everyone always asks me about Camp Randall, but Camp Randall is just a stadium. It's just like any other stadium, but it's the people that fill the stadium. It's the fans that take the time out of their jobs, their daily lives, day in and day out, to spend their hard-earned money to come and watch us, you know, play the game that we love. So it's definitely the fans that make Camp Randall what it is. And, you know, coming out here, I mean, we travel well. I mean, they made it feel just like Camp Randall today.
Now, JT was one of the last players to leave the field on the team, and he came out to a loud standing ovation from a number of Badgers fans who stuck around to see him. And if he does end up leaving, he will truly be one of the most missed players on this team. In Pasadena, Melissa Kim, News 3 Now Sports.
Melissa and the crew, thanks so much for your hard work. And the Badgers finish the season now with a 10-4 record, along with Jonathan Taylor, Quintez Cephas, Cole Van Lanen, and Tyler Biotish. Were all asked if they were going to return next season or declare for the NFL draft. All of them said they have not made any decisions yet. The deadline for underclassmen to declare for that draft is January 20th. So we can always count on the Greek Freak to cheer us up a bit, right? Giannis Antetokounmpo has been named the NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Month for December. During that time, the Bucks had a 13-2 record. That is the best in the entire league. Giannis averages more than 29 points a game, shot nearly 55% from the field in December. The Bucks superstar has now won this award in 6 of the last 7 months. Not too shabby. Milwaukee head coach Mike Budenholzer was named the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month as well.
Not too shabby yourself, Miss Lewis. You know, I think we have an opening in the
Well,
I've
heard that much. No, I think
I'll hand
my
the clicker
husband.
over to you if you want to do some.
Sure, let's just do it all. No. I think my husband will be very proud of that sportscast.
I approve.
Yes,
I approve. All right. And
Do you approve of the forecast too? Or?
I do. I do. So far, so good.
We had a nice day today. Temperatures were well into the 40s. Current temperatures are now in the upper 30s, and they're starting to fall. Winds have shifted to a westerly direction, so that's a sign the cold front has come through. I've got a forecast of about 1 inch of snow tomorrow night, but right now we might have to push that back to the west a little bit. Otherwise, look for temperatures to stay above normal, although a little colder than today, and then brief warm-up for Thursday of next week.
All right. Thank you, Gary. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.